The ransom letter. This is part 4 of our JonBenet series where we break down the interview that Ashley Flowers of Crime Junkie just recently did with John Ramsey. If you haven't already seen it, go check that out. It's available where you get your podcasts, or I watched it myself on YT. Also, we would love if you hit that follow button and join in the discussion, and as always, keep it friendly. So Patsy Ramsey woke up the morning of December 26th. She says that she got dressed and she headed to the spiral staircase which led to the kitchen where she was planning on making some coffee. Now, that day the family was planning on taking a trip and they were going to be flying to Michigan so that they could have Christmas with John's other children. Patsy says she discovered a 3-page ransom letter that was splayed across one of the bottom steps that was addressed to Mr. Ramsey. Patsy says after reading a line in the letter that indicated that JonBenet had been abducted, that she bounded back up the stairs to JonBenet's room, opened the door, and immediately found that JonBenet's bed was empty. She says she screamed for John, and the two called 911 right away. The letter had been written on a notepad belonging to Patsy. A pen from inside the home was also used to pen the letter. Investigators discovered that inside the notepad, there was an initial letter that had been written to Mr. and Mrs. and what appeared to be the first stroke of the letter R. Investigators say it was almost as if the author of the letter had changed their mind on who to address the letter to. So details of the letter included a $118,000 bounty for the safe return of JonBenet. Now, John has said that that was the exact total of his bonus that year from work. John also says that information would have been easily discovered by someone who was looking for it. The ransom letter also indicates that the kidnapper would be placing a call to the Ramseys between 8 and 10 tomorrow. Now, there's some confusion in the household that day as to when exactly that phone call would come in and what they meant by tomorrow. Was that to be today, the 26th of December, or tomorrow, the 27th? The letter indicates that JonBenet is still alive at the time the letter was discovered, and that she would remain that way as long as they followed some careful instructions, and those were, number 1, to not contact police. Also, John was to get the money prepared for the ransom and wait for the phone call with directions on how to deliver that money. John talks in this interview about how several people who have read the letter indicate that whoever penned it was angry with him, and he agrees. Statements like, "Don't try to grow a brain, John," as well as "Don't underestimate us, John," indicate that whoever penned this letter was very hostile toward John Ramsey. FBI agents have said that this ransom letter is unusually long, that most ransom letters are very short and to the point, but whoever wrote this letter felt that they had plenty of time and was not rushed. So it's well publicized that several different handwriting experts have said that this letter does match handwriting from Patsy Ramsey. Now, in this interview, Ashley and John discussed this, where Ashley actually says that it's widely known now that handwriting samples and expertise are considered junk science, something that's gone to the wayside, similar to the use of lie detector tests. Personally, I sort of sway back and forth with how I feel about that. I read one thing here and it's contradicted by another expert over there. Now, as far as the intruder theory goes as it relates to the ransom letter, this intruder knew the family because obviously they have addressed this letter to Mr. Ramsey. They knew the total of his bonus as well as obvious hostility toward John. Though John and the family say they have no idea who could have felt this way or done such a thing to their family, none of the people that they know have been a positive match to the unidentified DNA, but we do know whoever this is knew the family.